Well, thank you, everybody, for joining today's Code Ninjas weekly conference call. We host these calls each and every week to give you better insight and understanding of Code Ninjas. My name is Marty Flanagan. I'm the Vice President of Franchising here with Code Ninjas, and I host these calls every week. And, these calls, we continue to get 20, 30, 40 attendees per call. We get great questions at the end. So if this is your first time joining a Code Ninjas weekly conference call, the first 10 or 15 minutes are always the same, with giving you some insight just in a little bit of a history of Code Ninjas. And then we move into this live Q&A, which gives you an opportunity to ask whatever questions you would like in regards to Code Ninjas, whether it's about our franchise disclosure document, whether it's going to be about details of our centers and operations and support. We can go into more detail of whatever it might be, from student to teacher ratio to who we hire and how it looks. These are all great questions that you can kind of bring my way at the end of this first 10 to 15 minute kind of opening. And really what I like to kind of do is give you Code Ninja by the numbers. We had an incredible March, which ended off our official kind of 2 years of offering franchises. So as of March of 2019, that was our 2-year marker of Code Ninjas of awarding franchises. So we obviously started in March of 2017. That's also when we actually opened our first location, was March of 2017. And that's also the month we sold our first location, or had our first franchisee. So we had one location open. We had one franchisee. Fast forward 24 months, we currently have 464 sold locations. We have 225 franchisees. We have 102 locations open, and we currently have 80 locations with signed leases. And what that means is that those 80 locations will be open in the next about 90 days. And so in about 90 days, we'll have over 180 locations open in the U.S. and Canada. As of last night, we launched in the UK our marketing efforts, and we're planning a discovery day in the UK in a couple of weeks. So I'll be out there meeting with prospective franchisees in the UK, which we're really excited. We already have a few individuals on board and hopefully be opening by the summer of this year our first location in the UK, so it's pretty exciting. But here in the US and Canada, our growth has been incredible. It's been very, very validating from the marketplace to see just how Code Ninjas has been received in the U.S. and Canada, especially in Canada. It's been really exciting to see such fast growth, and we're on pace, and I've been saying it for a few months now, that we'll probably be sold out of our Canadian market by May, and we're actually on pace to do that. So that's pretty exciting to know that by the end of May, there's a good chance that Canada will be a sold-out market. We still have plenty of territories available. They're just going to be limited in terms of where we can go. So we are looking for some great partners up in Canada with what we have left. So to understand like how all this came about and how this happened, if you've heard this before, I'm just going to kind of give you another brief kind of overview. But the history of Code Ninjas, David Graham is the CEO and co-founder of Code Ninjas. He started Code Ninjas in 2016 with Bert Sensipon and myself, and we started developing really the brand, the franchise, and who we are, what we're going to do in 2016, and then officially launched in March of 2017. David Graham owned a school that taught adults how to code for many years. That for about 4.5 years, he owned that school that operated in 18 different cities, and that focused on the vocational side of teaching adults how to code. He sold that school, and now that's owned by the Wozniak Group, so obviously very popular group when it comes to the co-founder of Apple. And that kind of separated him from that, and he moved on, and he started Code Ninjas. And the reason is because there wasn't a week that went by that a student didn't bring up to him about the younger generation learning how to code. And that really just kept being asked and kept kind of like turning on the light bulb for David in terms of how we teach the younger generation how to code and get them involved into this whole realm of coding and understanding how to code. And then, his boys, as his boys got older, kind of hit him again too. How can I get my kids involved? Started really looking at the marketplace and solve the problem. Solve the problem of how kids today the opportunities, the limited opportunities they had to learn how to code and getting involved in coding and programming. And then when you break that down even more, understanding what that curriculum looked like out there was just really limited. So under development went Code Ninjas and our curriculum. And as that went on and that started to develop more and more, obviously we saw this fixing the problem on the market today. And why did we go franchise? Because we know, with our experience in franchising, we know that franchisees will contribute to the brand development more than anybody else. Franchisees, independent entrepreneurs, that free marketplace can deliver that exceptional experience and really help drive the unique side of Code Ninjas forward, where we continue to be able to provide, cutting-edge curriculum and opportunities for families to get involved in Code Ninjas. And so when people will ask all the time, what's the difference between Code Ninjas and what's the difference between everybody else? And there is a long list of differences between Code Ninjas and everybody else, but I'm going to tell you about two that really make the biggest, in my opinion, my professional opinion of over 15 years in franchising, is going to be, one, our franchisees. With over 200 franchisees, that adds such a value to the brand and what you're going to be a part of, because you have so many entrepreneurs out there that are working on making their Code Ninjas the very best it can possibly be. And those best practices and those hurdles that sometimes they have to get over and those pitfalls that they face can be shared, can be sharpened by you. And so when you come to face those issues, you're going to be able to handle them with a little bit more information, a little bit more insight, and hopefully be more successful. And so that is an incredible opportunity to have so many sets of eyes and so much feedback coming in. It really impacts the greatness of Code Ninjas and any franchise when you have franchisees out there giving their feedback, wanting to drive the brand forward. And that's really, it's not always rosy, it's not always perfect, but if everybody understands it's really about driving our business forward and making Code Ninjas the best it can be, Code Ninjas right now is showing that it is possible to harness the greatness of franchisees to drive the brand forward. When it comes to the curriculum side of it, that's another big part of what we like to talk about when it comes to what makes a big difference, is we set the curriculum up in such a way that it really allows you to be able to focus on delivering an exceptional experience, not focus on teaching what you know. And so when we look at the basic side of the Code Ninjas offering, we have 6 different opportunities for families to get involved in Code Ninjas. We have something called our drop-in program, which we're going to talk about in more detail. That's the belts. That's the white through black belt, the 9 different belts that we offer. That's that drop-in program. And then we also have our Parents' Night Out. We also offer our after-school program. We also have our birthday parties, and we also offer camps and workshops. When you look at camps and workshops, those two are pretty incredible opportunities. We actually offer 12 different camps for our franchisees to offer to their communities and to their students. Those 12 different camps are typically 5 days long, and they're half-day days for those 5 days long. That's done inside the Code Ninja Center, and it's done inside schools. So you can actually take that out into the community along with offering it inside your center. And that's the same with workshops. Workshops are typically 1 to 3 days, half-day long, and that's the same thing. Those can be done inside your center, or they can be done outside of the school system as well. So you can have that as year-round revenue versus just summer revenue. The drop-in program is really what kind of creates most of the buzz with Code Ninja's curriculum. This curriculum is made up of 9 different belts. With inside each belt, we have a certain set of skills and concepts that our students will be learning. At the end of each belt, they have to build a game that requires them to show their proficiency in those skills and those concepts, and then they would progress to the next belt. Each belt intertwines and works together. Each belt works off of one another like compound interest. It's not segmented learning, it's cumulative learning. So everything works together. This curriculum is 90% proprietary and exclusive to Code Ninjas. This curriculum has a proprietary set of textbooks that go along with it. And this curriculum also is a flexible learning system, which what that means is that flexible learning system means that the students are going to be coming in at their convenience. They're going to stay for about an hour to 2 hours per week, and they're going to be working their way through the Code Ninjas curriculum. This curriculum also has a built-in robotics program that's built into it. This curriculum also, it runs about an 8-to-1 ratio of when it comes to our code senseis to student ratio is about 8-to-1. So this curriculum itself is only offered inside of our Code Ninjas. Parents pay a flat monthly tuition rate per month to have their son or their daughter access the Code Ninjas curriculum. So they're going to come in that day, they're going to scan their wristband, and when they scan their wristband, that is what's going to trigger them to allow them to access the Code Ninjas curriculum. And they're going to go in, they're going to sit down, they're going to open up their laptop or Code Ninjas laptop. They're going to then obviously go through that day's lesson. That day's lesson could require them to do robotics, which is going to be hands-on. That day's lesson could be having them work through a different problem-solving section of the curriculum to learn that skill or that concept inside that lesson. This curriculum takes 3 to 4 years to accomplish. This is pretty in-depth. It takes 3 to 4 years. There's 3 different technologies or 3 different languages that are going to be used inside this curriculum. The first belt, if you want to call, we're going to use a little bit of Scratch. Easy win. Easy win for kids, drag and drop, Scratch, easy. Then they're going to go into learning more of the syntax. They're going to be in JavaScript for about a year. They're going to be in Lua for about a year. And they're going to be in C# for about a year. And so they're going to be learning the syntax as they go through that. They're not jumping in between languages. They'll be focused on JavaScript for a certain number of belts and time, and the same with Lua, and the same with C#. When they get to that 9th belt, it's going from total conception in their mind to building that game, developing that game, going to beta test, and then product release. And it's all aspects of product release into the App Store. It's not just this is what you would do, but it's the business side of the steps to do that as well. So they're getting a little bit of an insight of actual product release, which is another aspect of, obviously, when it comes to building your own game. Everything we do inside this curriculum is a game-based curriculum. Here at Code Ninjas, if you've heard it before, we like to tell everybody we are about kids having fun and parents seeing results. So when you look at the Code Ninjas curriculum as a whole, this is all about engagement. It's all about fun. It is not about just sitting on a computer screen. This is not a lecture. They don't sign up for times. They don't. This is not a classroom setting. The camps, the workshops, completely different. Parents night out, they're going to be in a group. But this flexible learning system is not about lectures. It's not about classes. It's all independent. So when that student faces a problem that they cannot solve, they cannot work through, they're going to raise their hand. A code sensei is going to come over and sit with them, help them through that problem, and then they're going to move on to the next student if they have an issue, and that student's going to keep moving through the curriculum so they fully understand how to work through that problem or those concepts or skills within inside that belt. So that drop-in curriculum, that's your number one revenue source. That is what parents, that's what students, that's what they seem to enjoy the most and have the most. Obviously, it's very in-depth. That curriculum lives on our platform in the cloud, and students can only access that through our dashboard, our dojo. When it comes to that dashboard, they can actually play the games that they've built in the past and continue to play the games to move forward and progress through the curriculum. We also have a parent portal that allows parents to go and see and play the games that their son or their daughter has built. So it's about that engagement. This is about delivering an exceptional experience. You can have the best curriculum in the world, but if that is boring and they don't like it and they are not having fun, they're not engaged, they're not involved, and then they are not going to be happy and they're going to leave. So that's one reason why we have this set up to where you are hiring individuals to coach and teach the Code Ninjas curriculum and deliver an exceptional experience. So that's what we focused our curriculum around. So it goes pretty in-depth. So when you look at our history, kind of give you a little bit of our history, a little bit about where we're at, This curriculum also is also going to be have reciprocity, which means there'll be access to multiple Code Ninjas, not just one. Our students will be able to go in. Our system is set up so it can't be abused, but if they're on vacation or they're on the other side of town, they can actually scan their wristband and they actually can use another Code Ninjas. And that owner gets paid immediately, not as time goes on down the road or something. So this gives you some insight of who Code Ninjas is. This is that first 15 minutes that we like to do every time with Code Ninjas. And really now it comes to you to say, hey, what kind of questions do you have on Code Ninjas? Whether you're from the U.S. or Canada or you're joining us from the U.K. today, you're more than welcome to ask any questions that you have regards to Code Ninjas, whether it's our future plans, how we keep up with things, what we're doing. This would be your time to ask whatever questions that you would like. And these are all recorded on our Code Ninjas franchising YouTube channel, so you can go back and listen to them whenever you want to. Now, if I did such a fantastic job and nobody has any questions, then we're going to wrap up today's call really early. But if you do have a question and you'd like to ask it, you hit *6, and *6 virtually raises your hand. It allows me to unmute you, and you're able to ask whatever question that you would like. We have a couple questions. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, yes. My name is Vikas, and I have a question about New York State. So I'm interested in opening a location in New York.
Yes.
And last time I asked about it, I think there was some approval process going on. I was wondering if there is any progress on that.
March 31st, we sent out our new FDD to every state. And we have, I believe, 5 states left going through the approval process, and New York is one of them. So, unfortunately, it's kind of out of our hands. We have to leave it up to the state of New York. And once the state of New York approves it, I can send you the franchise disclosure document. You can still do a lot with us until that is released, So you still can do a lot with us. We just can't talk about it with you or even send it to you until it is approved in New York.
Okay.
Which franchising laws is strange because you can go to the California website right now and their small business website and actually download it. But I can't legally send it to you or talk to you about it until it's approved by New York.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions? No? Okay. Oh, go ahead. Do you have one?
Yes, I do. Go ahead. When we do want to go ahead with starting a franchise location, how much help is provided with negotiating with the landlord and the build-out?
So we have a complete facility guide, construction manual, done. Easy, right? That's something that's already done. Your design is going to be done by our design company. So all that's going to be done. We have preferred vendors for design, and we have a facility guide already set. When it comes to negotiating your space with your landlord, we have a couple of things. We have a preferred vendor that actually does all the negotiating, finding spaces, and can do that. Now, if that preferred vendor, you don't want to work with them, and you want to have your own local realtor and you want to work with them, we also have lease riders and sample LOIs that you can use so your realtor doesn't have to try to reinvent the wheel anywhere. It's already there, built for them, and they can actually just take advantage of that.
Okay.
But we as a franchise don't negotiate your lease. But inside of Code Ninja University, which is an internal support tool, we do give you some insights and some education on the commercial real estate space so your expectations are set up properly going into it.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes, I do. I'm calling from the state of Texas, more specifically the Houston area. And I know you guys are started in Pearland, so I was just curious, is there any available territory in Texas, maybe Austin,
currently,
San Antonio?
So Austin is completely sold out. Houston is Austin. There currently is nothing available currently, and there's currently nothing available in Houston. San Antonio, there is some availability, so that would be something you'd want to definitely connect with one of my team members on, and they can work with you.
And the follow-up
think of smaller markets, since we're just kind of touching on this really quick, and I'm not going to mention the smaller markets. But what's popular right now for Code Ninjas, we're getting a lot of inquiries, are these smaller markets, right? In Texas, I mean, you have a lot of smaller markets, right? But we're getting a lot more phone calls and a lot more inquiries on these smaller offset markets that are not a part of a big city. So that might be something to think about and work with one of my team members on as well.
Okay, because the follow-up would be, would the Woodlands be considered a smaller market, or would that be considered part of Houston?
Well, Woodlands has an open Code Ninjas, so.
Oh. Okay, and then the second follow-up question I have, I'll be real quick, is to follow up on the real estate. I've been a franchise owner before, and one of the things that I do know is that if I have an option to own a real estate, I would love to have that asset. So is it possible if I'm able to pursue an interest with you guys where your real estate development, you have some owners that might potentially be able to own the building that they're trying to put the Code Ninjas in, so you have the asset.
Yeah, that's as long as it's an approved location, you can own it or lease it, whatever is best for whatever you want to do.
Okay, sounds good. And I just have to follow up with your people to find out what those smaller.
Yeah, you should have received it. Yeah, you should have received an email from one of my team members. If you haven't, then just email me, which is Marty, Marty @codeninjas.com.
Okay, I have. All right. Thank you very much.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes. Can someone that doesn't know coding but is interested in learning get involved in something like this? And if so,
yes.
Okay. And if so, what would be the first step in getting started?
Well, you did it today, which is great. Listening in on one of these calls is probably the best thing you could have done. And next would be if you've received an email from one of my team members, you're going to want to get back with them right away and set up a one-on-one call. We have everything from discovery days that we host at our corporate office in Houston, Texas, to one-on-one calls that customize the process for you based on your experience, your business acumen, and kind of and what your timeline is. We kind of custom that process to you as an individual.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I will have to look for that email that was sent.
If you didn't get an email from one of my team members, you need to then definitely email me, which is Marty, Marty @codeninjas.com. Okay. And I'll get you connected right away.
All right, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for your question. Hi, you have a question?
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfect.
Hi. My name is Avinash. I'm based in Toronto area. A couple of questions. First one is, what kind of marketing support is provided to a franchise on an ongoing basis? And also, what kind of percentage average marketing cost a franchise should budget for on an ongoing basis as well?
Sure. So when it comes to marketing support, the fourth person hired at Code Ninjas was a digital marketing specialist that also was a marketing director. So that was a fourth person that we brought aboard here because we understand the value of obviously marketing your brand locally. And you being able to have the roadmaps in place to be able to market, understand your digital marketing strategies, what you can do, traditional marketing, what you can do, and have those roadmaps laid out for you. We have a 12-week pre-opening marketing template that you follow, and then marketing roadmaps that you follow after you're open. But you're going to be able to set your budget with that. We don't take money from you to market for you. We actually have the pathways there for you and then allow you to set your budget. So sometimes now we do ask you to spend at least 3%. We don't take that from you, but we ask you to spend 3% of marketing in your local market, not a national advertising fee, but your local market, not state, but micro, right inside your market. We ask you to spend 3% marketing, whether that's digital, whether that's going to a fair, whether that's a banner, whether that's flyers, whatever it may be. We ask you to spend that 3% to market your business for new customers on a monthly basis. But again, it's not a pass-through fee. We don't take it away. We don't take it from you and spend it for you. And there's ongoing support with marketing. We have obviously ongoing marketing support, best practices, so you're not just left to, oh, this worked a month ago, but now it's not working. What do I do? That's what we're here to help you with.
Okay, perfect. So one more question. You mentioned drop-in program is the main revenue source out of all the possible programs, and I presume this is the most kind of capital-intensive program as well. Could you give me a sense of, on an average, what is the fees that we charge per student, and what is kind of average number of students one must have for it to be a viable business?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of things. When it comes to that second question, with being that we're in a public forum, I cannot answer those questions because not every state is approved with our franchise disclosure document. So that has to be answered one-on-one when you connect with one of my team members. Also, with that second question, we can only discuss what's in our franchise disclosure document. Franchising law prevents me from going into any kind of detail that's not recorded and approved by the federal government inside the franchise disclosure document. The first question, there's going to be a range of prices. So, for example, the drop-in program, it's going to be anywhere from $150 and up. Some of our franchisees charge up to $400. Some of our franchisees at $350. But it's $150 and up. Our average center, I believe, charges $216 on average. If you look at currently 102 locations open, the average is $216 a month. Camps are a little bit different, and camps are actually displayed on our franchisees' website. So just by a little bit of browsing, you can see the actual ranges of the camps that are out there as well, that are being offered in their price ranges. Well, we have 12 different camps, so it all kind of varies. We have a very nice Excel spreadsheet that we built just for Code Ninjas that allows you to build out your entire model, cost of doing business, the number of students, your price per student. I mean, you can actually break it down to your profit margins and everything per student if you wanted to. So we do give you the tools to help you build that out. It just kind of comes down to being a part of the process with us. It doesn't mean you have to be a franchisee. It just means you have to be part of the process with us, that means we're working together and we feel this is a good fit. You feel it is and we feel it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes. Do you have any franchising opportunities in Bloomington, Illinois?
Chicagoland is pretty sold. I'd have to see Bloomington if it's is that in a suburb?
We're like 2 hours away from Chicago. We're in between Chicago and St. Louis. We're like 2 hours away from. So it's not a suburb.
Okay. I'd have to look on our website to see if that is a sold market or available market. Off the top of my head, I don't have them all memorized. I don't know. I mean, we were really popular in Illinois, but I don't know if that location is sold or if it's not.
Okay, great.
I have to take a look. Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. I wanted to take that last question further and ask you, what is the size of territory that you're looking at, that we would be looking at?
Well, there's really three pieces. There's three answers to that because you really have to get a good understanding. It's not just a size. So when you look at Code Ninja's territories, we have to look at what we require to be a viable territory, which we look for a certain income and a certain number of students in our age range. Now, that is like a seesaw because the higher number of students you have, you can go with a little bit lower of income. The lower number of students you have, you're going to want a higher income. Also, it depends on your market. When it comes to cost of doing business and the cost of living can also impact what that market approval looks like. So there's internal, external matrices we go by. Don't ever think that your market is one that's not going to be right for Code Ninjas. Work with us on that, and let's dig in together to find out if it is. Two, when it comes to the territory, we do a 2 to 3 mile radius around your actual location. Now, one thing with that radius that we give you, that protected territory, we don't do stacking inside of Code Ninjas. What that means is if you have a 3-mile radius, we're not going to sell another Code Ninjas 3.1 miles away. In fact, you would have to be 6 miles away, 5 to 6 miles away, straight line, like as the crow flies, to have another territory available. And it has to meet internal and external matrices. So let's say you're in a small market, and that small market, you have a 3-mile radius. On the other side of town, you have an opportunity to do the same, but let's say the income isn't right. Let's say your center isn't performing at Code Ninja standards. It's going to be hard-pressed for me to approve another market in town if it's a smaller community and we as Code Ninjas don't feel, you may feel your center's performing at the level it needs to be, but if we don't feel it is, I'm sure the heck not approving another one in town. So it has to do with also working with our franchisees to make sure that if they are in a smaller market, that they understand that we're on their side and not selling. We're not about selling as many Code Ninjas as we can to stack them on top of one another. But if it's justified in a larger community with high income, a high number of students, high population, you'd see a much more dense number of Code Ninjas, like in Illinois, Chicagoland. We have 30 locations that are going to be opening in the next 18 months, with I think 9 locations open up now. Chicago responded incredibly well to Code Ninjas. Same with Houston and Austin and New Jersey. It's pretty incredible how some of these markets have responded to Code Ninjas and how populated and disposable income that's there. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. No, please go ahead. And the third is also the franchisee. It comes down to the prospective franchisee. So those 3 things really we look very closely at, because if somebody could own a bunch of franchises, and that's great, or they could have a ton of experience in corporate America, that's great. But if they're going to be in a small community and they're not going to be involved in a smaller community when you really need to be involved, we may have some reservations with that. So we like to work with individuals one-on-one to make sure that it's a good fit.
Okay. And my next question was, again, you already mentioned New Jersey is very popular. What is the process in New Jersey, and how many do you already have in New Jersey?
I don't know of any markets available in New Jersey as of right now. So New Jersey is going to be very. It's not a closed market yet, but it's really close. Because we have like Hoboken and Jersey City, which are great areas. If you're looking outside of that, it's going to be very difficult to find a market.
Okay. Did you say Hoboken is open as of now?
Yes. Yep, it is. Yeah, Hoboken is great. Jersey City is great. Inglewood is great. Those are all really good markets for Code Ninjas.
Okay. And what is the time frame for those? Do you know what the process is like in New Jersey, like how long it takes?
The day you sign, well, I can tell you this. The day you sign your franchise agreement with Code Ninjas, we give you 8 months to open your doors for business. The day you sign your lease for your space, you're going to be open within typically 3 to 4 months. Okay. So time-wise, it's going to come down to finding your space. Spaces are going to range from 1,600 square feet to 3,200 square feet. The average Code Ninjas right now in our system is right around the 1,800 square feet, maybe a little bit bigger.
Okay. And what is the characteristics that you look for in a franchisee, like owner, operated, or? Well,
that takes time. So let's work together. This is a partnership. So let's work together one-on-one on that. No piece of paper can tell us that, right? So we just want to make sure that we're vetting each other out. You're vetting us out. We're vetting you out. And this is a good fit for us all.
Okay, that's great. And what kind of support do you have ongoing besides marketing?
Yes, everything is ongoing. Code Ninja University, everything from operational, performance training, tech, curriculum. Everything we do is ongoing. Examples like we're starting our podcasts for our franchisees. So our podcasts are all about performance coaching, making sure we're maximizing all the best practices and how to execute those, and really just sharing more opportunities. We have newsletters weekly. We have owner calls. We have a complete collaboration tool that's built into our system, so franchisees can have boards and talk and conversations and share files and pictures. So it's all ongoing and all developing. Is it perfect? No. Is it a moving target? Yes. So it's It's staying at the tip of the spear in your curriculum and staying at the tip of the spear in your support are two main focuses of every great franchise, because franchise support is the backbone of your company. So we're always trying to make it better.
Oh, that's great. Also, one more question. Other than the startup fees and all that, what's the liquid capital required?
We don't have a liquid capital requirement.
Okay. Okay, and do you have any resales? I know you're fairly new, so resale is probably not out there yet, but is there any resales that you have?
We have a franchisee that sold their location, and they used those funds to open up another Code Ninjas location. So they didn't sell and leave, they sold to build another.
Okay. Okay.
But businesses are meant to be sold, right? Businesses are meant to be built and sold. So obviously we're probably going to have some franchisees wanting to sell, which is we'll do our best to support them through that process. So.
And when would you put out that list? If you know someone, do you give the internal franchises first opportunity, or do you just put it out there and just say, okay, that's a resale we have?
We always suggest that our franchisees check with their local franchisees before listing it. Okay. So you would probably know, if you were a franchisee, you would probably know, immediately if a local franchisee in your state was trying to sell, you would probably know right away, because we always encourage our franchisees to go to the other franchisees in town and connect with them and see if they're interested.
Okay, and early enough in the presentation you mentioned that you allow students to go from...
Oh, you still there? I may have lost you. Hello?
Hi, my name is Christina.
Okay.
I have a...
Yes.
Sorry,
I'm
I
sorry.
have a couple of questions.
Yes, please, go ahead.
First question, what are the requirements for the instructors? Like what's the level of education, or what's the requirements?
Yeah, so you're not hiring professional coders and programmers, so let's make sure that's clear right away. And we give you a complete job description, who to look for, characteristics, how to find them, and how to pay them, and that's best practices there. We have yet, I'm connected to all of our community boards, and I can see what our franchisees are talking about, and we communicate back and forth. I have yet to hear a complaint about finding and keeping code senseis. So that's very positive. So, but we work with you and help and show you how to go in that direction and find them. Because remember, they're coaching and teaching the Code Ninjas. Remember, they're coaching and teaching the Code Ninjas curriculum. They're not coaching and teaching what they know, right? That'll be a bonus, but they're not coming in to teach a curriculum that they've made up themselves or they found. They're teaching and coaching the Code Ninjas curriculum, which is part of a requirement of their job to do themselves. So it makes it a much better experience for our kids.
Is that trading the 1 week training online for the instructors?
No. That they're going to be doing the Code Ninjas curriculum as part of their training, and they're going to be working with you and your center director on delivering that exceptional experience. Yeah.
Right. You mentioned earlier that kids can be using different centers with their bracelets. How does that work for, if they have two different owners?
Yeah, so if you are an owner of a location, and let's say you're in Florida, and somebody comes in and they're visiting family from New Jersey, they'll be able to walk into your Code Ninjas, scan their wristband, and that RFID bracelet is going to automatically pull up their information, and they'll be able to go and work off their curriculum just like they were at their home center. That you, the owner of that Florida location, will get paid a flat fee dollar amount for that student using your Code Ninjas. And I believe the flat fee right now, I'm trying to remember the exact dollar amount we settled on. I believe it's like $13 that we settled on, but I would have to double check that. But so it's not like you're getting paid like right away. You're getting paid right away. It's not like you're getting paid. You're not getting paid and they're using it for free.
Right. So the student is the one paying the flat fee to the center.
Well, it's going to come from the other center. So it's going to come from the money that they paid at their home center. It's going to come to you through your account. You'll see a deposit.
Okay. Do you have any locations left for Santa Clarita in California?
Actually, we do. Actually, one just opened up. So make sure you connect with whoever sent you an email, because the individual who bought one there, there's an available market over there. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, my name is Garrett. I'm calling from Michigan. I'm learning more and more about rollover business startups, Rob's, to purchase a franchise.
Yeah. Sure.
So my question, I'm wondering, are you looking for that financial to be enough to purchase the Code Ninjas altogether, or is that for the franchise agreement sign up?
Well, so the franchise fee is $29,000, right? That's our current franchise fee. So everything beyond that, because to open up Code Ninjas is going to cost you anywhere from $110,000 to $250,000 total turnkey for 1,800 square feet, right? So that's total turnkey. That's including your franchise fee, inventory, your build-out expense, your outside signage, and everything is built into that $110,000 to $250,000. The major delta is going to be construction costs and TIA, tenant improvement allowance, that your landlord will contribute to building your Code Ninjas to spec. The monies after the $29K are all going to be as needed it will be as needed.
Okay.
So you're not paying that to Code Ninjas. You're going to be paying that to whether it's going to be the city for permitting or your construction or design or materials. I mean, that's going to go out as needed later on.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes, earlier I heard New York mentioned, but I didn't get what was going on.
Oh.
Is there anything available in New York?
Oh, yes, for sure. There's actually quite a few very, very good territories available throughout New York, throughout Long Island. I mean, there's some incredible opportunities available in New York, and we've been getting a lot of attention from New York. Like, we got a ton of attention early on from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, North Carolina, and it seems like New York right now I've been getting quite a number of inquiries on New York. So I'm really excited for New York to go through their approval process, which I'm hoping they'll be done here in the next couple of weeks. Every year they take about a month, so we're coming up on that 1 month. So I'm assuming that it's going to happen any time now, and then we'll be able to send out the franchise disclosure documents and get more centers rolling in New York, the city of New York.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. I'm Paresh. I'm from the Vancouver area, from Canada. And I'm just wondering, what's your sort of like a royalties you charge? It's per students or a flat fee? Or
no, it's actually 8% royalty. To make it just really simple and easy, it's an 8% monthly royalty.
So it depends on the volume. So in the beginning it will be less, and then as we grow, it's going to be higher than that.
Yes,
okay,
correct.
Perfect.
Yep, and it's 8. There's not like other things on top of that. It's 8%. There's not a percentage for this, a percentage for that. We only collect from you as a franchisee 8% royalty and $110 tech, email, website, Code Ninja University, that tech side of things for all of our collaboration tools and everything is at $110 a month. So those are the two things that you see coming from Code Ninjas on a monthly basis, and that's laid out in our franchise disclosure document, which Canada just approved it about 20 minutes ago. So Canada is ready to go for our franchise disclosure document. So we have look for Canada to be adding probably 8 to 10 more locations in the next couple weeks.
Okay. No, thank you very much. Also, I had a question, like if sorry, it just slipped from my mind.
No worries.
I was getting the questions in my head that yes, about the American dollars. So it's going to be all the price will be in American dollars, right?
Yeah. So, well, and actually, yeah, and Canadians are in Canada, it's a $24,000 U.S. franchise fee. So, just so you know, in Canada, it's $24,000 U.S. for the franchise fee. The 110 to 250. I just saw a quote the other day that was in Canadian currency. We were coming in at about $225,000 for 2,000 square feet. So we're in that range so far right now with Canada as well in Canadian currency. That 110 to 250 in Canadian currency, we're getting a lot of locations in that range as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, all right. I want to thank everybody for your time today. If we don't have any more questions, 3, 2, 1, no more question. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for all your time. I want to say that if you have more questions and we did not get to you and I counted down too fast, feel free to email me, marty@codeninjas.com. All of these calls are hosted on our YouTube franchising channel. You go back and listen to them at will. If you are interested in coming to a Code Ninjas Discovery Day, which has anywhere from 30 to 50 attendees per Discovery Day, we host those on the second Thursday of every month in Houston, Texas at our corporate office in Pearland. And those are by invitation only. So there are a couple steps that you would have to complete to be able to attend that. But we would welcome you and we would love to have you attend that with us. And those, again, are on the second Thursday of every month by invitation only at our corporate office, where you get to meet our executive team and really get to dig in with curriculum and technology and the day-to-day operations, support, marketing, real estate, construction. We go to our center. You really get a chance to have hands-on with Code Ninjas. So I want to say thanks again for taking your time to join me today on our weekly Code Ninjas conference call, and feel free to reach out anytime, Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, @codeninjas.com. Thank you.